Welcome back, everybody. Wednesday show off and rolling. Kevin Feeney, head coach of the Warrants Spuds, will join us in a half hour. Spuds have a Dyna tonight. We'll preview that on the final night of the Minnesota high school football regular season. His eldest son plays for St. John's. The Johnnies are coming to town this week to take on Concordia, one of the great annual football games in our area. And that means a chance for us to reconnect with former Bison standout wide receiver, St. John's offensive coordinator Kole Heckendorf joins us on this Wednesday morning. It's great to see you, bud. This is always a special week. You've been at St. John's for a bit now. Tell me how this rivalry stands out. You played in some great rivalry games. Where does this one rank for you with the Johnnies and Concordia?
You know, it's every time we play them, it's always a good game, no matter, what the records are. They play us harder, I feel like, than anybody else. I don't know if they just prepare for us for more than 1 week. We only prepare for them for 1 week, so it's always just a battle, and especially coming up there. We've gotten the last couple of years, but I still remember the 2019 game. We had a really good team, and they came in our house and beat us. So we got to prepare like it's a playoff game, which is how we do it here, and it should be a fun, exciting game, and hopefully the weather's okay in Fargo. That's what I always worry about.
I think it's going to be okay. It's going to be good fall weather. Right? We can't guarantee anything better than that, right?
100%.
Tell me about you evolution as a play caller from where you are now to say maybe even 5 years ago. How have you changed as calling plays now?
I think I look back, I think our 2018 season, our staff started doing this together, and we had a guy named Jackson Erdman at the time, really good quarterback. We had some really good receivers in Will Galash and Tommy Oje. Tommy's actually still playing football in Japan. He's a tight end. He's been all over the place playing football still. And I'm kind of sad about it because we weren't as good back then as we are now, right? You learn more, you understand things, and it's fun. We have a really good staff here that we get to work with, and our kids are really good. They're really smart. We get to do a lot of different things with our guys. It's funny when we talk to our defensive guys and they, talk, what are teams doing? Are they doing anything different? Did they show anything different? And they're like, nope, they run the same things. And I'm like, each and every week we run different stuff, so our guys have to prepare each week because it's, new concepts, new different things that we put in, for the defenses we see. And the funny thing is our what we practice sometimes we never see in the games, because I think our defenses that go against us, they change up because they have to, because they know if they just play their normal base stuff, it's not going to be pretty for them. So we always have to adapt and and move on the fly. And with the technology now, having the iPads on the sidelines, it makes it easy, but also makes it hard on us because we don't get to be a part of the game anymore. It's always studying what we just saw and doing, trying to do different things. So
let me ask you about how your team has been dominant this year. I mean, you guys have 4 shutouts in 5 games. I know your word on the offense, but is this even better than you guys thought you would be in 2025?
It's hard to say. Every year we lose a bunch of guys. We lost 4 linemen, our quarterback, a bunch of defensive players too. All of our linebackers were pretty much gone from last year, besides one guy. But our guys just build here. I don't want to compare it to NDSU because they're unbelievable what they've done the last 15 years. But I think it's just the next man up. Our sophomores, our freshmen have been working hard to be able to play as juniors. There's not too many freshmen that get to play at St. John's because our guys have worked hard and bought into the system and the program, and they're usually better as junior seniors than they are freshmen. So it's really fun having the defense we have this year. It makes play calling a lot easier on the offense side of the ball for sure when we know we can stop them and get the ball back. So it's been really, really fun to see those guys grow. And I don't want to say it, but it's been one of the best defenses that we've seen on our side of the ball everyday practice. And I think that's really helped us this fall camp and last spring of getting to go against those guys every day. So
I haven't asked you this. I got to, on recruiting wise, knowing the St. John's name carries weight, some swagger with it. When you go and you're looking at a guy, does that automatically raise other teams around you? Well, if St. John's is recruiting this guy, we better. Like, I know that happens with the Bison. If the Bison offer a kid, a bunch of other schools come in. Is that similar for you guys?
for sure, Twitter, everything they have with the kids now, they post it. Everyone knows who has offers from everyone. So the thing is, I feel like we don't lose too many guys. Back in the day, it was us or St. Thomas. We've lost some guys to Bethel this last couple of years, as they're kind of, being a good team in our conference. So we'll lose guys to them. And it's kind of just a fit for the kids too. And a lot of kids want to play for different reasons. A lot of kids want to go and play right away. Well, that might not happen at St. John's. You can probably go play at a different place. And, we just talk about winning meaningful football games, so which we've done for a long time. So
I got to ask you here how neat of a homecoming it is, not only for you, obviously from your college days, but for a couple of your players and Trey Feeney. We're going to have his dad on our next segment, and Carson Hegerly both being now with the Johnnies. Tell me about that relationship and getting both to come and transfer to St. John's.
When Aaron left, last fall, we didn't have a quarterback coming back that, played. Aaron played for 4 years. So we had probably 10 quarterbacks reach out to us in the portal basically, and trying to figure that out. And it was funny because in the spring, we actually had 2 kids transfer. We had a kid, Trey, came, and then we had a kid from South Dakota that came. Oh. And they both kind of battled out in the spring, and the kid from South Dakota ended up leaving about mid-spring ball, which was kind of weird, but it actually made it easier on us to give the other guys reps. And it's crazy with the portal now and getting guys. But, Trey came in from, UND, from a background with his dad. We've had a lot of kids, myself, coaches' kids that just like the game, understand the game, makes a big difference. So it's been fun having him, and he's been working really hard and, having a really good season. So.
And his connection basically, because Carson, we know, had to basically, we saw it retire from football. His injuries had mounted up in his time at NDSU. Was it basically a phone call they got Carson Hegerly to Collegeville?
Yeah, Trey talked about him, and I gave a phone call. I talked to him, and then I talked to his dad. He came for a visit, loved it, tried to figure it out. He was trying to come in the spring, but couldn't figure out with classes at NDSU and getting out of his lease and different things. So he ended up, coming up this summer, working out with the guys. And then, it's been fun having him. I laugh because I'm not as fast as I once was. And I like to think that I look like Carson when I ran back in the day a little bit. So it's fun having those 2 guys. They're really good kids and good football players. So.
You mentioned going up against Terry Horan. What do you know that a hallmark of facing a Terry Horan team like you're going to have on Saturday?
They're always ready for us. They never back down. As good as we can be and as bad as they can be some years, they give us a fight like no other. So they have this game scheduled. They know when it is. I don't know if they have extra practices for us this week, but they'll be ready to go, and they'll give us a good game, especially up there. So it's a battle going up there.
All right, I got to ask here because you talk about your running days. We got vintage video of Kole Heckendorf. I can remember your pro day. You want to share that story quickly of doing pro day inside the Bison Sports Arena on the court,
sandbagging station at the Fargo Dome the night before.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that made it a little hard on us, but it worked out all right.
Yeah, I remember. Hey, I remember a couple scouts were talking to you afterwards. I'm like, that's normally a good sign that if we're seeing you literally right next to the basketball court. It's just wild.
Yeah, I just told my fellow coach, Coach Bungham at St. John's, I know you do the countdown to the year, and I always see number 9 up there, and I said, I might not be the top number 9 after this year with old Cole Payton having the year he's having wearing number 9.
Well,
so.
it's funny you say that because now looking at the receivers that have come after your play, and you left as number 1. You left as the number 1 all-time receiver, and Zach Frost come through. Christian Watson has come through, and now Bryce Lance is doing what he's doing. Does it seem crazy to watch NDSU throwing the ball all over the yard now?
Yeah, I probably a little jealous. Probably why I throw the ball a little bit when I'm getting to call plays here. Yeah, it's a different Bison era than I got to play in. I know T. Roll hit my back a couple times just running power on me trying to block that safety. So no, it's fun seeing the guys do what they have done there. Coach Paulsick coached me when I was at NDSU, and it's funny though how there's not many left that I know around that area, but yeah, it's awesome seeing what the Bison are doing and winning games like they have been. So
you have a great Polisic story from his early days coaching, because obviously he came in. You were, I think, a sophomore. Can you give us an early story on Tim that you remember?
Wow, jeez, I don't know if I can do that to my Wisconsin native. So, no, Tim's an awesome guy. So he's fiery.
Oh.
He's fiery. I know. I'm a little more laid back coach than he is. He got after the guys. I think he gets after the guys as the head guy there. So he does a tremendous job. Love the man. So.
Hey, before we go, we just showed the last highlight was the Cal Poly bomb in that crazy comeback game in 2007. What do you remember about what Steve Walker, what Craig Bowl was telling you guys? Because you guys are getting your butts beaten pretty good until the crazy fourth quarter. What do you remember about that game?
Well, that whole year was, some comeback victories. We played Sam Houston, and we were up pretty big at halftime, and they came back, and I think I scored with 7 seconds left in that one too. So it was just, I think that whole year was just, one play. We're not going to fight until the last minute, right? Coach Kramer has built that into who we were back then and who I am today. Is you never give up, and you can see that how that continues with the guys now that they have, that no matter what the scenario is, they're going to give it their all and make plays when the opportunities. Coach Moore always told me that it was a diamond in the sky when the ball was in the air at NDSU. So anytime you got a chance to make a play, you could try to make a play.
That's a great line. That's fantastic. It's great to see you, bud. Thanks so much for doing this on a busy week. Good luck on Saturday. We'll talk soon, okay?
Thank you.
Great to see you, man. There he goes.
You too.
Kole Heckendorf, St. John's offensive coordinator, former Bison standout wide receiver. I'm looking at the records now, by the way. He's now third all-time reception-wise. He was an unbelievable player. Those highlights, I don't know if do it justice of how great a player he was. And again, that first clip in his highlight reel, I was there that day at the BSA in March of 2009, right before the huge flood came. And the dome was unavailable, as Cole mentioned. It was full with sandbags, right? So they had to, and this was long before there was any indoor facility, none of that, right? So the only place to hold the pro day, this is for Tyler Roll, Nick Schomer, and Cole, was at the Bison Sports Arena. And literally, you could see they had the basketball court still in. Cole's diving and, running into the hard court floor. It was just surreal. But I do remember afterwards that the scouts wanted to talk to Cole, and they talked to Schomer. And obviously, Cole got a deal with his hometown team. He got with the Packers. Schomer ended up getting drafted by the Titans after that. That was out of that kind of pro day. It tells you again how talented a team that was way back when. Appreciate his time. That was good stuff. We'll break. We come back. We'll wrap up our first hour. We got a couple emails coming in. Kevin Feeney coming up in our second hour. Spuds Edina. We'll preview that when Hot Mike rolls on a Hump Day Wednesday. We're back after this.